Oh, there's a phone call. Spam. It stopped, or it was doing weird things to the video. I couldn't understand what it was doing. You know, this is all this health stuff is so complicated, and it takes a long time to figure it out if you're smart enough to figure a lot of it out. And I really wonder where I'd be. I wonder if I'd be sick like this if I hadn't have gotten injured weaning off the 2 medications. I wonder where I would be. All these health issues, all these nerve issues, all this disability. I wasn't disabled. I was very, very sick, but I wasn't disabled. Wasn't physically disabled before the medication injuries. I wonder where I would be if I would have any of these nerve issues. If I hadn't weaned off if I hadn't have gotten injured weaning off of the benzo and the Zopical, wonder if I would have gotten help and I wouldn't be disabled. I was so ill. My body was healthy, but I mean, I looked fine and I had no disabilities or mobility issues. 8 years ago, my life was gone because I didn't sleep. I was brought to the brink of I was in crisis 9 years ago, sleeping only 1 or 2 hours a night, in crisis. I looked fine. I looked fantastic. I looked really young. My body was still healthy, but I was in crisis because I no longer slept. I slept 1 or 2 hours a night. Prior to that, I spent 5 years sleeping 3 hours a night. So I was headed to bad things, right? Like, I was trying not to take my life. I was in crisis. And nobody had any answers. Hang on. The alarm went off in the bedroom. Nobody had any answers. So the only thing I could think of left to do... Oh, geez, I'm getting dizzy from standing up too quick. The only thing I left that I could think of to do to try to find answers and to try to help myself was to wean off of the sleep medications, because I had weaned off of everything else already, and I wanted to know, maybe these sleep medications are causing me all sorts of problems that nobody knows anything about. So here I am, sleeping 1 or 2 hours a night. I'm highly, unalivable. And I wean off these medications and all hell breaks loose. And I'm literally fighting for my life hour by hour. And this went on for years. Doctors didn't know what to do. They didn't know what they were looking at. They didn't believe me that I was in an acute withdrawal. Doctors were delusional about what was going on. They thought I was delusional. I had severe sleep apnea. Nobody believed me. They thought I was delusional. They were delusional that I was delusional. Literally, these doctors were delusional that I was delusional. And I wanted to see if it was physically possible to survive weaning off of 40 years of benzos, if a person could actually live through that, if they could survive. I wanted to know if that was humanly possible to survive weaning off of 40 years of benzos and 40 decades, almost 40 years of Zopiclone. And my body just got ripped apart with nerve issues, nerve damage everywhere. And it could have been prevented. Doctors didn't believe what was happening. This happened because of doctors. The doctor refused to believe, even though I presented him with written information, he refused to believe that I was in acute withdrawal. He refused to believe that I was being ripped apart with nerve damage. This nerve damage is because of him. And then another doctor with the Zopiclone refused to provide a proper taper, refused to provide me the crossover. All of the, I think all of the damage that has happened could have been prevented. But doctors think that patients don't know what they're talking about. Doctors really did not know what was going on. And now what? Like, I have held this hope that I need to get back some, I need my health back. I need to sleep. I need help with the sleep issue, with the jaw, with, I don't know. I need to sleep again so that I can make money and work and have some quality of life and start socializing again and having contact with people. And because I'm just sitting here, there's no point to any of this. The nights are just horrible. What's the point? Like, I'm clinging to hope, but nothing. Last night I slept for like an hour and a half and then was wide awake. I slept for another hour and a half, wide awake, and then slept for like an hour. And just the nights are torture. The nights are literal torture. And my face against the pillow, and it's like I feel like a skull with just no flesh on it, just raw pain. Leaning my face against the pillow is just pain. I stopped CPAP because I'm in so much pain. Oxygen went down to 83. My vision's blurry. I'm plugged up in here. This plugged up feeling, maybe that is trigeminal neuralgia. Inflammation, blurry eye. How can a person live like this? My arms and shoulders were crushing me last night. I was waking up and these three fingers were numb. This, and this, and then I was waking up, and then these last two fingers were numb, and then I'd wake up and the whole hand is numb, and both hands are numb. And I'm not laying on the arm. I'm laying on the side, and the whole hand, I can't feel my hand. Like I'm having all these nerve issues. Walking down the street and my thighs are numb. My hands and feet are numb from neuropathy, but this is nerve compression syndromes when I'm sleeping. When I'm walking, my thighs go numb. That's nerve compression syndromes. Generalized full body pain, that's nerve damage. Neuropathy. This is all damage from the benzo withdrawal. Was like getting hit by a train. This is all this pain. And same with this. This was immediate in benzo withdrawal. My whole face, this all came. All these nerve compression syndromes and nerve damage. And for a few years, I would get in the bathtub and it would all be electrical pain up and down my spine and the length of my arms and legs. Absolutely, this is from medication damage. But in the summer, we're at 8 years already. Nothing's going away. I thought the LDN was helping the nerve issue recently, the general nerve damage, but I raised the dose to 1.5 3 days ago, and I feel like the nerve damage is worse with the arms and shoulders, and I wonder how people determine how high up they go with the LDN. How do people determine? Everyone talks about a sweet spot. They reach a point where they feel good. How do they determine that? I'm so exhausted. I know everyone, I'm tired of listening to my own story. But in the same respect, I don't want to give up. I really don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose this battle. The system doesn't deserve to win. But is there any way out of this? Is there any way to get well? Because the more time that goes on, there's just more and more issues. It's cascading. It's just growing. When you don't get, I need my jaw. I need to sleep. I need my this mandibular device for $2,600. The more time that goes on that I don't get help, more and more issues are happening. But one thing that's weighing really heavy is the isolation, like yesterday, I was like just pardon me, so removed, like just removed from this world, from the pain. And I'm so raw and tender. And when that comes, like there's no way to be around other humans. There's no way when you're that ill with 100% untreated pain and you're virtually just not even on this earth anymore. You're in so much pain. Nothing matters. How can you ever have a life? How can you ever be around people? How can you, be a part of anything? I'm totally isolated here with untreated pain, untreated health conditions, and totally isolated. How am I supposed to survive this?